Welcome, everyone, and please be seated. As we gather here today to celebrate our grads, we must acknowledge the many people living in Ancestral who've made these achievements possible. So many of these people are here with us tonight. The parents and partners, the friends and mentors, the children and grandparents, the aunties and uncles, the educators. Countless courageous others have fostered our collective development through either their commitment to the land we learn on or their leadership in laying the foundation for our very profession. This land is the traditional territory of the Cheyenne and Arapaho nations, as well as the site of trade, hunting, gathering, and healing for many other indigenous nations. The traditions and the care for the land, water, plants, and animals remind us of the interconnected nature of life and the importance of sustainable social practices. Today, many indigenous people maintain their connection to the land despite the forced displacement. More recently, the creation of our very campus resulted in the removal of working-class families, many with immigrant roots, first from Europe and later from Mexico. The reality of this displacement informs our department's commitment to social justice, anti-oppression, and culturally responsive social work practices as we uphold and honor their traditions of cultural sacrifice and pride. Those whose labor through enslavement, specifically Blacks and Native Americans, also deserve reverence. Zooming in, much additional labor has maintained and fostered our learning spaces. Some you will easily recognize: our faculty, student support staff, and leadership team. Others play critical roles, often overlooked, including in construction and facility management, in program operations, or even in building the practice of social work. Many of us are taught the importance of the early settlement house movements and charity organizational societies to social work history. Less often, though, do we learn of the groundbreaking work of early BIPOC social reformers, such as Ida B. Wales, Legina Burns-Hope, Whitney Young. Social advocates closer to home include Amachi Onichi Prowers, Zekiah Sa, and even more are Guadalupe Bursino, Anna Jo Garcia Haynes, and Elizabeth Betty Benavides. Through it is impossible to name all of them all here tonight. We acknowledge and thank them nonetheless. All activists, advocates, and social workers, helpers, and community organizations who came before us deserve such. Many were not social workers by trade or identity, but their legacies are linked to our present and to our futures. To honor those legacies, we encourage each of you to consider how you may give back to historically excluded groups through the actions of the accomplice and co-conspirator, including your time, energy, advocacy, allyship, and/or financial support. Please scan this QR code or screenshot the slide for a list of organizations worthy of our attention and investment. To heal the historical and contemporary atrocities perpetrated against all intentionally and historically mistreated communities. Thank you for holding them ceremony and as you enter into your careers and callings as social workers.
Thank you, Dr. Montano, for that meaningful acknowledgement about not only the lands we occupy, but also regarding the history of the social work profession and our communities. My name's Jess Rettrom. I'm the chair and professor in our department. Soon-to-be graduates, are you ready to get this party started? Before I begin, I want to also take a moment to acknowledge our amazing Office of Social Work Student Services team. Wherever you are, please stand and wave. And Dr. Cottrell, you too. This group has planned these events and are responsible for the beauty and the organization, and it requires so much work. So I just want them to understand how important they are and acknowledge them to all of you. So, students, families, supports, and other esteemed guests, on behalf of the incredible faculty and staff here at MSU Denver's Department of Social Work, I welcome you to our Spring 2025 MSW Pinning and Hooding Ceremony. The first thing I'd like you to do is show these soon-to-be graduates how much you appreciate them and how proud you are of them. So let's talk a moment about you, our graduates. There are 195 of you. Can't seem to get this thing to work. Hold on a second. Okay. There are 195 of you graduating from our MSW program this year. 42% of our graduates are individuals of color. 46% of you are first generation in your family to obtain a college degree. Our youngest grads are 22, and our oldest is 56 years young. More than half of you are likely a student returning to school after being in the workforce. So congratulations for this wonderful achievement. We're here to celebrate you. This achievement signifies not only just the culmination of your hard work and dedication, but also your resilience in navigating an increasingly complex world. You've not only completed a challenging program, but you've done so while juggling countless responsibilities and commitments. Please clap your hands if, while you were in our program, you worked, part-time or full-time, to pay your bills. How about those of you who cared for someone else during your time in our program? So now here you are, ready to step into the next chapter of your lives as therapists, direct practitioners, and leaders across diverse settings, including community health, mental health, healthcare, and criminal justice, just to name a few. You'll engage with individuals, families, and communities, tackling intricate social challenges they face with compassion and expertise. You now earn the rite of passage into approximately 700,000 active social work practitioners across the United States. It's been a year full of uncertainty and obstacles, to say the least. Without a doubt, the vulnerable communities we work so hard to support will face uncertain futures. This year has felt harder than most in recent history, to be honest. On top of that, we're still feeling the effects of a public health crisis that disproportionately impacted vulnerable communities throughout Colorado. We've really only begun to understand how the changes we're facing will impact your clients of tomorrow. And the solutions seem unclear, and it feels honestly really daunting. As I prepared to stand before you today, I really have to admit that for a moment, I was feeling really nervous. Like, what do I say to inspire hope and energy when things feel really unstable and uncertain? But then I realized the answer was literally right in front of my face. It's you. You as social work graduates. You've not only completed a challenging program, but you've also learned to defy gravity in ways that many of us may not fully grasp. In the world of social work, gravity represents social problems we face: poverty, mental health struggles, systemic injustices, and complexities of human relationships. Throughout your education, you've had to find ways to lift that weight to move forward, not just for yourselves, but for the individuals and communities you will serve and do serve. You have developed the skills to rise above these challenges, to defy the odds, and to inspire hope where it may feel lost. Every time you listened to someone's story, offered an alternative perspective, or advocated for change, you were defying that gravity. You were lifting others up, making space for healing, and creating pathways for resilience. You've learned that while the world can feel heavy, your strategic approaches, compassion, and dedication can help others soar. So as you embark on your professional journey, remember that the sky is really actually not the limit. It's just the beginning. You still have the power to challenge the status quo, to advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves, and to push those boundaries in service of social justice. We already know the work will not be easy. There will be times when it feels like you're carrying the weight of the world. But just as you did this year, you'll learn to balance and find strength in the support of your colleagues, both here and sitting next to you, and the community. So as you prepare to take flight into your careers, I encourage you to embrace your own potential to defy gravity. Trust your training, rely on your passion, and remember that you are equipped with the tools to make a difference. Each of you could create a ripple effect of change in the world, one act of kindness or good trouble at a time. You're not just graduates, you are the future of social work, and you are ready to defy gravity in ways that will inspire and uplift us all. So let's sit back and take a moment to celebrate the remarkable journey you have undertaken and the even more remarkable journey that lies ahead. So please join me in welcoming some important leaders here at MSU Denver. First, we'll hear from our Dean of the College of Health and Human Sciences, Dean Hope Sapolsky.
Thank you, Dr. Ruttram. Dearest graduates, families, and friends, welcome and congratulations. I'm Hope Sapolsky, Dean of the College of Health and Human Sciences here at MSU Denver, and I'd like to start by thanking the Department of Social Work for inviting me to join your ceremony and celebrate such a remarkable accomplishments. Graduation is my favorite time of the season. I love getting the opportunity to see our incredible students reap the fruits of their labor. Your hard work is admirable and truly representative of our university's cadre values: community, access, diversity, respect, and excellence. What you've accomplished is truly a cause for celebration, and I applaud you. Graduates, are joining the ranks of some of the most passionate, dedicated, and accomplished professionals in the country, including these amazing people sitting behind me. And now more than ever, social workers are the change makers we need on the ground. We know all too well that there is a significant gap between the behavioral health needs and the infrastructure to deliver them. In 2023, a Colorado Health Access Survey found that more than a quarter of the state's residents reported 8 or more days of poor mental health per month. And these findings don't consider the ongoing impact of COVID-19 pandemic, which we would like to leave behind. As even well-resourced communities struggle to respond to the surge of our healthcare systems, those especially at risk are people of color, those experiencing homelessness, sexuality and gender minorities, and youth have faced even greater systemic barriers. As I stand before you today, your mission now is the same as the mission of the College of Health and Human Sciences at MSU Denver: to secure the health and well-being of people and their communities. This may seem daunting, but remember, You are carrying and advancing this mission alongside your peers and your professors, and an entire network of advocates and providers across disciplines. Not to mention the more than 100,000 Roadrunner alumni whose community you are now joining. Rest assured, you are not alone in this noble effort, and I have no doubt that each and every one of you will rise to the occasion. The Department of Social Work has prepared you well, supplying you with the tools of the trade. Time and again throughout your graduating training, you've proven your abilities not to only survive amidst uncertainty, but to rise above and thrive. I know that with these tools, we'll tear down walls built by prejudice and fear, and together, you will build bridges to reach every vibrant human being where they are and what they need. Your unique stories and service make our communities and your profession all the stronger. When I look at the road ahead, I see the work that you will do, and indeed are already doing, as a shining light, one that will make us all healthier, happier, and more connected. Within you, I see the compassion, tenacity, and generous spirit to make that vision a reality. The stakes are high, and no doubt you will face adversity along your journey. But because of what you have already accomplished, I have never been more confident for what the future holds and couldn't be more prouder to among you on this momentous occasion. I, the Department of Social Work, and the College of Health and Human Sciences and MSU Denver congratulate you. We wait to see the ways you continue to shine brightly and illuminate your path forward. Now, like Dr. Retram said, let's get the party started.
All right. And now it is my honor to invite to the stage Mari Foster, our keynote speaker. Mari graduated from our MSW program in 2016, during which she was a HRSA Behavioral Health Workforce Enhancement Program scholar. During the MSW program, she began her early work in integrated pediatric care and discovered a deep passion for infant mental health. She eventually transitioned from medical social work into the field of early education. For the past 6 years, she's served as a home visitor, supporting families and young children in their development. In addition to her clinical work, she provides reflective supervision for individuals pursuing licensure and those engaged in the Front Porch Initiative, and serves as a trainer in a variety of community settings. Mari has taught in our program for the past 5 years and was selected by the Faculty Senate this year to be awarded the university's Road Runners Who Soar Award for Affiliate Faculty Excellence Award. And last but not least, Mari is just a wonderful leader and wonderful mentor to students, and she's also a grant writer. And she can be thanked for many of the wonderful grants we've received. So, give her a big round of applause.
Oh, hey, y'all. Okay. So, hi, everyone. Not a surprise, I do want to start out by saying how intensely proud I am of everyone for making it to where you are today. There are quite a few of you whom I met in your very first class of your graduate journey in my Monday morning theory class. And to be able to be here to bear witness to your graduation is giving me a pretty big proud professor moment. So thank you all for having me here. I'd love to introduce myself again and a little bit more. Mari Foster, adjunct professor, also a graduate in your place 9 years ago. In addition, I am an infant mental health specialist with early intervention, so I provide in-home care to our smallest people. So please don't think I haven't seen at least 3 of the kids that are in this room right now. I found them. So I'm very excited to be here to talk you through a little bit of what I think is to come. So for those of you who aren't aware, the graduating class was asked what they would like their keynote speaker to address during their time in their pinning and hooding. So I'd like to share with you the questions and areas for insight they asked of the person delivering this speech. Cultivating hope in today's political climate and not losing the hope that you have. Encouragement for new grads to follow their professions. Advocacy in the face of our nation's division and cultivating the belief for others that their lived truths are valid. A reminder that we can, in fact, change the world. How we can push forward in social work in a country that seems to be going backwards. And somehow, amongst all of that, believing we can still make a difference. Unity, diversity, social work values, and thoughts on actionable change, specifically strengths focused on how we do have the ability to make change in such a difficult future ahead. So, just like the biggest, hardest hitting questions were left for me. So when I read through what this graduating class has on their hearts, my first thought was, oh crap, I don't know. Because truly, you all are asking the same questions I asked myself, and I wasn't really sure how I could help you when I don't always have the questions for myself either. And in the course of writing this speech, I had to remember two things that have been some of my hardest learned but most impactful lessons from working and learning in this profession. First, I am never going to know the answer to everything. But I know a lot of incredibly smart people who might have some good ideas. And second, I almost never know the answer when I start something. I have to trust that I'm going to find it along the way when I'm with the people I encounter. So let's pull from some of these incredibly insightful conversations, shared spaces, and perspectives that I've collected since accepting the role as your keynote speaker, because I will always do my best to walk my talk. So, the first area I feel called to center was taught to me by two incredibly powerful women in this field, Sarah McNamee and Janina Farinas. And that's to make space for even the hard feelings amidst a celebration. So one of the places I think is most important for us to speak to is this sense of grief that was present in your topic requests. I suspect that this is not the world you anticipated graduating into and becoming one of the helpers for. So for some of you, this world is not actually that different from the world you've navigated by virtue of just who you are and what comes with being your intersectional self. And for others, this is a world that you could have never anticipated, and you are very unsure about how to even engage in something so big and so different from what you'd hoped for. I'm really sorry that you have to ask about how to help a country that feels like it's moving in the wrong direction. And I'm sad that you feel like you have to ask how to keep hope alive and instill hope in others. I want you to know that this grief is not just yours, but it's something that we as social workers feel very deeply. As the core values that come with working in our profession are being challenged and overturned and completely ignored. And it's okay if you have second thoughts about what you're walking into. And I also want you to know that you are better equipped to be entering into a country that's hurting alongside into a country that is hurting than most. You are better equipped than most. I need you to know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And your graduation is going to be a yes and space. It's going to be complex and nuanced. So what do we do with that? Well, my next informative conversation took place a few weeks ago as I was meeting for supervision with one of my foundation year internship students. And she shared her own fears around becoming a social worker, and she said, I can't believe I'm going to be out here doing this on my own. And admittedly, I probably could have turned this into a reflective moment or opened it up to have her say more, right? But in my knee-jerk response, I said, what do you mean? You're never alone. So let this be your first takeaway. You are never going to be doing this alone. You are working in tandem with other social workers, doctors, nurses, lawyers, police officers, teachers, and supervisors who are here to do the work with you. We're always greater when we leverage the power of multiples, as in coming together to hit the mic and share the heavy load that is our work, but also to share in the joy that comes with our work as well. So when it comes to sustaining yourself in this line of work, I need you all to find the places where you can find passion, ignite it, and share your joy with, share it with a partner, share it with a colleague, your supervisor, or your parents. So when we share joy, we take a moment to become vulnerable and hold space with one another. So currently, I am going to ask for a little bit of audience participation, specifically from our graduates. Okay? There are enough of you in this space who have taken trauma-informed social work with me. So either online or a few of you have been in person with me. You're welcome. So I'm going to start a phrase that you all probably know pretty well, and I'm going to stop at the end, and I need you to fill in the blank. Okay? So remember, this is a big space with a lot of people, so you're going to have to say it with your chest. Are we ready? Okay. No. Too bad. The antithesis of trauma is? Okay, one more time. The antithesis of trauma is? It's connection. Thank you. So, if the antithesis of trauma is connection, remember that your power comes when we coordinate and hold space for our clients, our communities, and our families. Our old and indigenous knowledge tells us that being in community is what keeps us afloat. So when we go into connection, we're caring for ourselves and we're caring for each other. When we create and hold space, we share power. We grow from the voices that speak up, and we leave having been changed for being together. Like all of you right now. So if you are feeling hopeless, powerless, or lost, get connected. Next, I wanted to lean into the metaphors that drive my daily life for a few moments and unpack the idea of pushing forward in a country that feels like it's falling backwards. So whenever we think about a time when we're looking to make change and progress, I think it's really important that we take a quick look at the full picture. In other words, let's look at our environment. So micro, meso, and macro environments. What is the context in which we are hoping to make this movement? Are things settled or unsettled? Have they been this way a long time? Or are we in a new landscape that we don't yet have a full understanding or working knowledge of? When we think about making a change and taking into consideration our surroundings and scope of practice, I often find that the greatest impact can be had not by pushing for progress in a time of unease, but rather using our time and efforts to hold the ground we have. Think about our current political climate like a rushing river. I think about all of you brand new social workers as sturdy river rocks amongst this rushing tide. When you look at rocks that are stationary within a river or a stream, you can see the waters part around those rocks. And in some cases, it can look like those rocks are climbing upstream. But then again, there are smaller rocks that can be picked up and moved along with the current. So when the water levels dip and the raging river becomes more of a trickling stream, as it always will, seeing what has remained steady amongst the current can often feel like having made progress where other rocks have backslid. So this is one of the key skills that social workers bring to the table, is our perspective. Are we in the right place for the moves we need to make or are thinking about? This is our ability to zoom in and zoom out. So before I close, I want to leave you with a few pieces of wisdom that are small but mighty. Think of them as stones for your pocket, small and grounding, that you can turn to anytime you need them. Social work ethics hinge on locating and naming power. Who has it, who needs it, who's taking it, and who stands to lose it. Our ethical decision-making will always include an element of finding the power source. Power assumes we will keep it unnamed. The moment you speak to it, you shift the power dynamic. How cool is that? Remember the power of being with and bearing witness to. As a new social worker, I was terrified that I didn't have the right thing to say in sessions with clients. Yeah. I was desperate to find those super impactful phrases I could just like whip out and would be a light bulb moment for my clients because I was going to be so good. And then my first ever supervisor, Sherry Bedoni, reminded me, people will be changed by how you are with them, not the things that you say to them. So, say the thing. Even if your voice shakes, there are going to be times when something needs saying, and sometimes it's going to need to be you who says it. When you speak, people hear you. It may not always be the people in power who will listen, but those who need some of that power will hear your voice and know that you are an advocate on their side. And yes, your voice might shake. It doesn't make the message any less important. So as I bring us to a close, I hope you've all found a few pieces or stones of guidance, hope, or some reassurance to take into your next step. I need you all to know that you all are a social work class that has been forged in fire. You have been trained for the world as it is today, and you are exactly where you need to be. You're not going to be alone after today. I mean, just look around at the relationships you've crafted and the people whose knowledge is just a phone call or an email away. And you are a tenacious group, and you are going to take care of each other because then you will go so, so far together. And because at the end of the day, the answer to so many of our challenges will be to be in community because we are in the business of relationships. So, in that manner that I end all of my classes, please remember, drink your water, eat a vegetable, go outside, and please wash your hands. Congratulations.
This is the moment, I think, if I'm doing this correctly, where I get the opportunity to recognize some of our amazing student awardees. So, when I say your name, hopefully you are here, and you will stand while I say a few words about you. So the first award I'm going to talk about is the Student Leadership Award. This recognizes a student who has made a significant contribution to the Department of Social Work, as well as potentially to the college, university, and/or global communities. Local and/or global communities, excuse me. This year's MSW Leadership Award goes to Emily Post. I don't know if Emily is here, but I cannot see a thing up here, so I'm struggling to see you all out there. I'm going to read Emily's information anyway. So Emily's contribution to the class is exemplified by their leadership skills, intuitiveness, and insight, as evidenced by their deep insight and well thought out responses in both class and in assignments. To possess this level of insight, intuitiveness for an emerging clinician is impressive. As a result of Emily's involvement in the class, it has led to an evolution of perspectives, not only for students, but for me as the course instructor as well. These shared perspectives have encouraged both research and self-awareness. So thank you, Emily. The Social Work Scholar Award recognizes a student who demonstrates excellence in research and writing. Is Lisette Uribe here? You can stand here or wherever. All right. Upon leading, I'm going to read a few words about you, so don't feel too embarrassed. Upon meeting Lisette, I immediately could see her compassion, desire for learning, and felt connected to her sense of value and commitment to the field and her community. I am nominating her for the Scholar Award because the growth in her understanding of using and honoring knowledge to support her endeavors. Lisette's writing and scholarly capacity has led me to recommend that she consider a doctoral degree. Lisette's capstone brought all her learning and experience to bear in a public education campaign in the Latina community to educate parents on mental health with the goal of destigmatizing and increasing access to all students. Congratulations. So is Joe Bays here? Nope. Okay. I'm still going to read about Joe. The Social Justice Advocate Award recognizes a student who has made a significant contribution in the advancement of human rights, peace, justice, and equality within the university, local or global communities. As Joe's professor and faculty internship liaison, I've witnessed his exceptional commitment to advancing equality for marginalized communities, particularly the LGBTQ+ individuals. By bridging direct service, community education, and policy advocacy, Joe models social work's commitment to multi-level change, making him an exemplary candidate for this recognition of contribution toward elevating social inequalities for marginalized communities. So thank you. Let's applaud him even though he's not here. And last but not least, we have 2 MSW Intern of the Year awards from the Internship Office. So Enid Nieves and Angelica Gutierrez, if they are here, could you please stand? The quote about Enid. Enid is one of our best. She joined our mental health team just last school year and has made an impact that many can in an entire career. Enid's work will certainly leave a lasting impact on our students, their families, and staff as she works for years to come. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Angelica. Is Angelica here? Nope. Okay. I'm still going to read her quote. She brings amazing questions and knowledge and bigger picture opportunities and questions to supervision, such as asking about funding streams, integrating law policy, and micro impacts on her community. She's gone above and beyond in serving her students and staff in her internship and is a bright spot and hope for our future, for the future of our profession. Okay, so this is where I get the opportunity to recognize some of our wonderful faculty. And the really special thing about our awards is that the faculty who receive these awards are selected by the students. So, supporting our incredible students each year are our highly skilled and dedicated faculty. Each year we ask our students to nominate faculty for their excellence in teaching and guiding our students. Many of our wonderful faculty were nominated, and I'm thrilled to announce this year's winners. The first one is Devin Cousins for our full-time faculty. We also have Liz Downey, who's pictured above. And as I've already mentioned, Mari Foster was the Affiliate Faculty Excellence Award winner. So Devin and Liz are invited to hand out pins after students are hooded. So once again, thank you for all of your dedication to students. I also want to acknowledge all of our students today who not only did they engage in all their courses and really learned across lots of different areas and competencies. Our capstone class is where students really get to pull together everything they've learned and create a final project. Our programming prepares future practitioners through an integrative practice approach, meaning that whether they want to become a therapist or a politician, they must develop a core set of competencies that cut across micro and macro practice. Our students often select a pathway to specialize their training for certain areas. The capstone class is a 2-semester course and can help illustrate some of the important ways our students are taking their first steps in what will hopefully be a long career in making the world a better place. So all the students in front of you today conducted a community or agency-based project. You may have read about many of these on a rolling slideshow prior to our ceremony. These projects take a great deal of strategic partnership with the community, development of expertise within the literature on contemporary viewpoints. They've become experts in these topics. They've developed approaches that are potentially cutting edge and have done deep research to identify the right ways to take with the projects. So I want to thank the students and give you all a round of applause for this amazing work. And I've just selected a couple of students' projects. This isn't to say that all of your projects weren't amazing, but I wanted to recognize a few that stuck out to us as a faculty and staff. So Manuel McCree, are you here? Hey. So Manuel did a capstone project entitled Preventing Veteran Evictions, a comprehensive training and curriculum and support staff. So the reason this project stands out is that it's addressing a vital real-world issue, housing insecurity among veterans. The focus was on prevention through training support staff, which shows systemic thinking and commitment to improving long-term outcomes for a very vulnerable population. It's both timely and deeply rooted in social justice. So congratulations on this project. Katie Mullings, are you here? Katie wrote a grant proposal seeking funding for Planned Parenthood of the Rockies Patient Navigation Program. This project wrote a grant for reproductive health access, and it's courageous and impactful, especially in the current political climate. Katie's work highlights the direct link between policy, funding, and real-world supports, so thank you. Brooke Connolly. Is Brooke here? Brooke did a quality improvement project. It's a pilot project for the Colorado's Family First Prevention Services Act. So the reason why Brooke's project was so impactful is because it contributes directly to a statewide initiative impacting how child welfare services are evaluated and delivered. So thank you for your work on this project, Brooke. And last but not least, Nicole Reynolds. There you are. Nicole's project investigated equity for rural youth receiving school-based mental health services. This tackles disparities in mental health access for rural youth, a timely and under-discussed issue. And this is actually near and dear to my heart. When I first graduated with my master's degree, I worked in a very rural area, and there was not a lot of access to services, and I appreciate your project very much. Thank you. So thank you all for your projects. I'm so very proud of how this group of students, this group of graduates has not waited until they've graduated to actually do something in their communities and make real change that will happen, that will make a difference for the communities they serve right away. So now I get the opportunity to invite our student speaker to the podium. Please join me in welcoming Lorena Pearson to the podium as our student speaker. Trying to open this for you.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, but I want to say two things before I start. Que sí se puede is the first one. And second, I'm so glad that our capstone is done. No offense to our capstone professors. I understand that this is near and dear to your heart, but having nightmares about it at night, and I was just probably having flashbacks as I was sitting there, so I'm so glad it's over. Students, I ask that you take a moment to look to your left and then to your right and congratulate one another on this significant and meaningful milestone that we have all just achieved together. I am deeply honored and humbled to have been nominated as the Master of Social Work Student Keynote Speaker. I appreciate all the support, guidance, and sense of community that I have experienced throughout my time in this program. It's no surprise to anyone in this room that we have just completed one of the most rigorous, intense, and demanding journeys of our academic careers. This program was never just about coursework. Where did I go? Oh, here we go. It tested our values and resilience, our patience, and our capacity to keep showing up. I know that most of us, if not all of us, have lives outside of school. We are not just students, we are parents, partners, caregivers, pet owners, friends, employees, and many of us have navigated this program while managing our own mental health, physical health, emotional health, and life's many unexpected twists and turns, and yet we are here. Through all the trials and tribulations we endured, we showed up. In doing so, we proved ourselves to be capable, compassionate, knowledgeable, and more ready to begin the next chapter of our lives, whether you're continuing your education, entering the workforce, starting your clinical hours, or are still figuring it out. Know this: you are well prepared. You have been shaped by theory and practice, but also by your lived experiences, and those are your credentials. I understand that right now, our government and the political climate are growing more intense every day, with new legislation, new laws, and policies being implemented that affect everyone. Not just those who are privileged, not just those who are marginalized, but everyone. As we all know, discussing politics isn't easy or pleasant, but regardless of where you stand politically, we can all agree that many of the egregious policies being passed right now deeply affect the communities we have committed ourselves to serve. These communities are vulnerable to policies rooted in oppression, policies that are being introduced and passed under the current administration and the previous ones too, that limit rights, restrict access, and create barriers to safety, dignity, and opportunity. Regardless of which communities you choose to serve, whether it's the LGBTQIA+ community, immigrant communities, Spanish-speaking families, survivors of trauma, people of color, people who have suffered from violence, trans youth, and those navigating the foster care system or mental health system, all of these communities are disproportionately affected. And although it is a blessing, it is also a burden to see it all so clearly. To understand as social workers just how deeply embedded these injustices and systems of oppression are in everything we touch, in healthcare, in education, in housing, in criminal justice, in child welfare, and so on. We are burdened with the knowledge that in order for our clients, for our communities to live long, healthy, joyful, equitable, and fair lives, sacrifices must be made. And when I say sacrifices, I mean us. We as social workers. We and other trailblazers we are privileged to walk alongside with are called to do the uncomfortable work of disrupting, advocating, and rebuilding broken systems. That is not an easy task, and it has never been. Social workers have been trying to change these systems for decades, dare I say, over a century. But if we look back at human history, if we look back at the civil rights movement, at women's suffrage, at LGBTQ rights, at the end of slavery, at disability justice, at Standing Rock, and Black Lives Matter, there is hope. History tells us that progress is slow, but it is possible. That effort, when sustained, leads to change. That resistance, when rooted in love, can reshape the world, and that is not to say it will be easy. But it is because it is not easy that it is 100% worth the effort. Not only because it is the right thing to do, but because it is about human rights. Every person has the right to live, the right to love, and the right to pursue the life they choose. And for our government and for us to ensure they receive the care, the protection, and the justice they deserve. We are in the work because we care, because this work matters, especially now in a world that feels uncertain, heavy, divided. Social workers are needed now more than ever. Our expertise, our time, our passion, and our empathy are desperately needed in the systems and communities and families we serve. That is not to say, again, that it will be easy, because let's be honest, we have seen, heard, and witnessed enough to know that our field comes with some of the most difficult and emotionally draining and deeply human challenges. But we endure. Just as we endured this program, just as we have endured our own personal hardships, traumas, and growing pains, we carry our experiences with us into this field, and that is not a weakness, that is strength. And yet, despite all of this, we are not powerless. Because where there is injustice, there is resistance. Hope is not blind optimism. It is not pretending that things are okay when they're not. Hope is radical. Hope is discipline. Hope is a decision we make every single day in this work, especially on the days when things feel heavy and impossible. Hope helps us endure as communities and as individuals. Hope allows us to imagine what a brighter and more equitable tomorrow could look like for ourselves and those we serve. Cultivating hope is not easy, but because it is not easy, it is necessary for our clients, communities, and for ourselves. Things we can do to cultivate hope do not always involve politics or policy. Sometimes it means providing direct support to a client, helping a family connect with resources, or simply being present with someone as they go through one of the hardest moments of their lives. Hope means change. And although change is often uncomfortable, change is what we all long for, and what keeps us going when holding on to hope feels hard. And we do not do this work to save people. We do it to walk alongside them, to remind them of their strengths, of their resilience, of their dignity, and to advocate for systems that will actually serve them. And the difficult truth is we are making change, but change takes time. As for my supervisor from my internship reminds me, sometimes all we can do is plant the seeds. And when I say plant the seeds, I mean we can start the process. We can help someone feel heard for the first time. We can challenge a harmful policy. We can create space for healing. We can spark questions that lead to transformation. And for our policy professors who love this, we can vote in elections for policies and leaders who reflect our values and the needs of the communities we serve. Don't forget to vote. I'm being so serious. Don't forget to vote. And even if we do not get to see the results right away or ever, that does not mean the impact is not real. Some of us will see change bloom in a year, in a decade. Some of us may never see the impact of our work, but the next generation will. And that is what makes this work both humbling and hopeful. Because change takes time, but it always starts with someone willing to pave the way and plant the seeds. One of my favorite quotes, a Latin proverb saying, aut viam inveniam aut faciem. It means, I shall either find a way or I will make one. And that is what we have done to get here, and it is what we will continue to do to change the world. So take a moment right now to feel proud, to breathe it in, to feel the joy, the relief, the power of this accomplishment, because if it were easy, everyone would do it. But not everyone can, and not everyone is willing to do this work. Not everyone is willing to answer the call, but we did. We answered, and we're just getting started. Thank you, and congratulations to the Master of Social Work class of 2025.
I'm looking at Sam because I think we're there. Want to make sure I don't do the wrong thing, get in trouble. Okay, so there's one more person I'd like to acknowledge tonight. Dr. Tanya Greathouse has served as our MSW program director for 3 years. Next year, she'll be continuing teaching with us and begin some new adventures with grant-funded projects and lead like she always does. The very talented Dr. Chris Atkinson will move into this role next year, so thank you. But it's important to acknowledge, and I am proud to acknowledge, that Dr. Greathouse's deep dedication to our students over the years has been so important. Her clinically minded relational approaches to teaching, as well as thoughtful mentorship of students and colleagues, have been felt deep and wide. So I'm wondering if you might take a moment to show her your appreciation for all of her contributions. So with no further ado, I'd like to begin the portion of our ceremony that really, this is what you were all waiting for, all along. We're gonna hood our graduates. So academic hoods have a very long history, worn by medieval monks who taught at university. They were originally worn as an item of everyday clothing. The academic hood today is symbolic of your academic accomplishments and represents your level of degree, and your colors are specific to our university, your university. Now I'm going to ask that our staff bring the graduates forward as we prepare, and you have marshals who are telling you what to do, so I want you to look for direction and follow them carefully. The way this will work is that students will be guided, as I just mentioned, and you'll have your cards that you will hand to the reader. And I believe Liz will be coming up, is that right? Am I inviting Liz up right now? Yay, Liz De La Rosa. Thank you, Liz. Once you hand your card to Liz, you will take your hood to the people who are hooding, which will be Dr. G and Lori Darnell to start. And once you get hooded, we want you to strike a pose. Make sure you get your photo taken. And then you'll continue across the stage and you'll be handed a pin by Devin Cousins, Faculty Award Winner of the Year. All right, I hope I said everything I needed to. We're gonna get started.
All right, everyone, let's get this party started. I have the awesome task of announcing our Rockstar graduates from the class of 2025. And first up, we have Catalina Pollock. We have Lorena Pearson. Alice Gibbons. Kaylee Lercara. Jasmine Williams. Nayeli Hernández Morales. Kaya Costanzo. Danae Duran. Erica Sung. Karine Murphy. Autumn Havens. Jamie Elizabeth Kirka. Juliana Luna Hinojosa. Daquan Enzor. Donna Rep. Jessica Leno. Mark Noonan. Alyssa Chavez. Carrie Hoffman. Savannah Melina Bernal. Alexis Barnes. Suemi May. Lindsay Guerrero. Erica Mose. Jennifer Plagans. Peyton Williams. Autumn Connor. Dakota Hunter. Esther Jacobson. Gabrielle Patz. Allison Trevino McCrath. Shell Schaefer. Alicia Smith. Jasmine Beal. Kennedy Patty. Reagan Hall. Sierra Allwine. Jessica Reed. Walker Kemp. Samantha Meyer. Alexis Lloyd. Paige Sons. Chastity Eaton. Carrie Rimersma. Quinn Van Cavish. Carly Trimble. Lucinda Conde. Lane Smith. Audrey Wilson. Abigail Cusera. Stephanie Carrillo. Daniel Cooper. Kenzie Funch. I got you. Kenzie Funch. Emma Juniper Fowler. Kylie Polson Baker. Macy Creek. Britton Andrews. Danielle D. Tiny. Alexa Geiger. Savannah Stanley. Jennifer Granberry. Laura Brandt. Alexander Boran Keo. Samantha Contreras. Jacqueline Vergara. Ricky Conley. Crystal Glean. Casey Moormeyer. Faith Watkins. Marisabel Boyle Mejía. Flor Valdés. Lindsay Nelson. Julian Santos. Eric Ryu. Megan Burnson. Caitley Peterson. Sofía Ramayo. Maya Hoganson Sanchez. Lindsay Delihant. Annika Nelson. Melissa Beck. Deandra Lewis. Jake Bergenthal. Gabrielle Efren. Katie Jones. Grace Keller. Caitlin Mullings. Chantel Daniels. Mary McKenzie. Elva Rodríguez. Magali Maldonado. Devin Detroit. Savannah Crookston. Ollie Vieira. Tommy Summers. Diana Ingram. Taylor Wyatt. Nicole Brantian Reynolds. Chelsea Getsemani Garcia Torres. Amaya Adamczewski. Denise Beltrán. Jessica Ochoa. Diana Plata. Carla González Villalobos. Lorelai Williams. Sharon Glapion. Graciela Leal. Essence Benson. Brittany Sedgwick. Marisol Ávila. Gladys Aispuro. Lisa Gaylord. Kathy Lee. Danny Mazer. Lourdes Mendoza. Kiara Johnson. Kayla Crystal Netherclift. Manuel Ray McCree. Briella Olguin. Marina Delgado Hernández. Sydney Heikkinen. Jocelyn Salazar. Samantha Salazar. Ryan Navarre. Brianna Klein. Michaela Thompson Goring. Mónica Rodríguez. Lucien Dutu. Auslan Apodaca Sky. Katie Jimena Perea Rascón. Mari Carmen Rodríguez Jara.
Valeria Uribe. Valeria Uribe.
Lisette Valeria Uribe. Enid Dolores Nieves Garce. Gema Oropesa. Azucena Acosta. Denise Bird. Brittany Stockvis. Paige Wyman. Marcus Vincent Wade. Paige Johnson. Amber Atkins. Rachel Ann Crawl Farina. Ileana Hammerland Baker. Beatrice Chavez. Tatiana Garcia. And last but not least, Amairani Zuniga Torres. And now we have, coming up, Dr. G.
Oh, that's so exciting to do that. So, thanks for indulging us as we took a very long time fixing your hair, making sure your hats were on straight. So graduates, esteemed faculty, honored guests, and proud families, as we head out to enjoy time with our friends and families, I'd like to thank everyone who shared space with us this evening. Graduates, you have worked hard. Your thoughts and beliefs have been challenged and stretched, while you have achieved remarkable accomplishments. You have developed your interrogation skills and learned to lean into your curiosity. As you continue on your journey, remember to stand up for humanity, for our families and communities, our country and the world. Hold on to your social work values, the values at the very foundation of humanity. As you head out on your professional journey, do something. Remember to get into good trouble. I've enjoyed being part of your growth as I've watched you develop your social work tapestry. Stay awake and engaged. Stay in touch, stay well. I will send you off with Maya Angelou's words. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And remember, if you don't like something, change it.
All right, well, I get the opportunity to say congrats again and to give you some instructions about how we're going to exit. Before you all leave for the evening, I want to just thank you once more for being here with us, and one more round of applause to these amazing graduates. All right, so we are going to exit, but we want to make sure that the audience stays seated and lets the graduates exit first. Thank you so much for letting us leave in an orderly fashion that way. All right, thank you so much. We're going to do our exit strategy now. Thank you.